In this video, we are going to discuss about what are the different dependencies and what are the different installations that we have to do before writing or compiling a C program. And for doing that, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to install our MinGW environment, and in that the GCC compiler, the compiler that we will be using for compiling our C program, so that will come inside it. So we'll be first going on and setting up our MinGW setup, and after that we'll be adding that setup link to the environment variables. We'll see what is environment variable later, and after that we'll be running our first C program using writing the codes in Notepad and using our command prompt to run that for us. And after that we'll be doing same thing. We'll be running the C code in online compiler. We will check any online compiler, we will run that. And after that, the last part is we'll be installing the VS Code editor, and we'll configure it, and then we'll run the same file there also. So there are basically three ways in which we'll be learning how to run a C program in this particular video set. So let's get started. First of all, you just have to open the book, the Thinking Machine 2 book, and go to page number 84, and here you will get this particular link. So if you are a Windows user, you can just click here or copy it and paste it in any web browser. And if you are a Linux or Mac user, you can just copy the second code and you can paste it in a web browser and select accordingly. So I have copied my web link. I'll just open a new window, paste it here, and click and press enter basically, and you will see that the file will be automatically downloaded to you. So just wait for 1 or 2 seconds. Yes, so you have seen it is asking me for a location where they want to save it. So I'll just click on downloads and I will click save. So now I have already installed it in my PC. That's why it is saying me that it is already installed. So I will click on no, and let's get back to the MinGW file, the executable file. So yeah, this is what your downloaded file will look like. So I'll just double click on it, and you will have the similar kind of dialog box open. So click on install, click on continue, and the simple this just follows simple installing method, next, and it will be done. So because I've already installed it, that's why it is giving me error that application is already installed. So I'll just quit it, and after installing the application, one dialog box will appear. So then that will come with the name of MinGW installation manager. So I will just open it. So MinGW installation manager is here. I will just open it, and this is how the dialog box will look like. Okay, so you have to go to basic setup here. So you'll have to go on basic setup here, and you have to right click on compilers and other dependencies. So you have to install them. So you have to right click there and click on mark for installation, and go to second one, right click there, and then again you have to mark for installation. So each one of them you just right click and click on mark for installation. So after marking them for installation, just wait for 1 or 2 seconds. Yeah, so after marking them for installation, I have to go there. In the top left corner you can see installation is there, installation menu, and I'll have to click there, and I'll have to go to apply changes. So after clicking there, this particular dialog box will open, and you'll have to press on apply, and you see that all the changes were applied successfully. You may now close this dialog. That means our installation is done. So because I have installed just one there, and others were already installed in my case, but in your case it can be different, and it can take up to 2 to 5 minutes. Okay, so now our GCC is installed, our environment is set. Now the second thing that we are going to discuss is about command prompt, and after that we'll be discussing about what are the different environment variable, what is actually environment variable, and how we can use that for our benefit. Okay, so this is the command prompt window. So I will just again show you how to open it. Go to search and write CMD, and here press enter, and you will get a command prompt window. So what exactly is command prompt? Command prompt is basically your when in earlier times, in MS DOS times, so we were not having all those GUI, graphical user interface, so that is basically your icons and other things. So we were not having that at that point of time, and we were doing everything in the computer using this writing the setup codes. So if I want to rename some file, so we have some setup commands, and if we will enter that, our file will be renamed. So all those things that we currently do in a GUI were done by command prompt, were done by writing those particular commands, and the command prompt is still there, so you can use it. So whatever you can do using your GUI, you can use this particular thing also to command your whole computer. And we'll be seeing some of the simple commands that we will be needing in our life while doing the C programming. So the first command here is, okay, let me just first tell you what this particular thing means. So this is the location of my current directory. So directory is basically your folder, and it says that I am currently situated in this particular directory. That means I am currently situated in this particular folder. So in C drive, one file named user, and in that one file named hers, and I am currently in that. So if I'll so just want to change my current directory. So let's suppose that I want to change my current directory to desktop. So what I'll do, I will just write here desktop. So before writing desktop, I'll have to write cd, so change directory, and then press desktop. Okay, so as you have seen that my current directory is changed from that particular location to desktop. So now what I'll do, so we have another command here, and that command is dir, directory. So if I'll press that, so it will show me what are the folders and files in my current directory. So because now I am in desktop, so all these files will appear there. So it should be appearing there, right? So I'll just try and show it to you. So I will write dir, I will press enter, and you can see this book file is there. So it is here only. So this is book, internship is there. So other files are also there. So it is actually showing me the current directory, what are the files and folders are there in my current directory. Other than that, we have another command called clear screen. So the command is cls. So if I want to clear the screen, I'll have to write it, and I will have to press enter, and it will clear the screen for me. So we have learned three commands here. One is your change directory, cd. So if I want to change my current directory, let's suppose that now I am in desktop, right? So let's suppose that I want to change my directory to this folder, book folder. So what I'll do, I'll just go on and click here and copy this particular link, and I will come back here. I will write change directory, and then I will paste that link. So now what I am telling my computer to do is, I am telling them to change my current directory from this particular directory to this particular directory, and the command used is cd, and I will press enter, and you will see that my current working directory is changed from desktop to book folder. So if I'll again write dir, so it will give me list of all those files and folders present in my book folder. So these all are files and folders that are present in my book file. So you are seeing that on your screen. So I am presuming that you understood the three basic commands that we have discussed. Now after that we will be discussing about what are environment variables. So let's change my current working directory to desktop again. So I will write cd, and I will just copy this code to desktop. I will paste it here and press enter. So my current working directory is changed to desktop again. Now so let's get to our OneNote and try to understand what is your environment variable path. Okay, so whenever we want to run a particular file in our computer, let's suppose that we have a file named elvs.txt. we have some information stored there for us, and if I want to run this particular file, so now in GUI you just have to go there and double click and it will open that for you. But if you want to run that file using command prompt, so what you will have to do is, you'll have to give the location of that file, and then you have to give the file name and their extension, and then it will open that for you. But if I want to open that file directly without giving any location, so I will just write elvs.txt. Will it open it for me? So let's just check. So now that you are seeing that my current working directory is in desktop, and we have one file named elvs.txt in our desktop only. So in our current working directory we have one file named elvs.txt. So what I'll do is I will write elvs.txt, and I will press enter. So you will see that the notepad is basically there, and this particular data is stored there, so it will open that for me. Right now I have another file that is stored in my book directory. So I'll just open it again. So this is elvs1.txt. So I will write again one a simple thing. So you can use up arrow and down arrow for moving back to history. So whatever you have entered in your past in command prompt, you can like move on to that by using up and down arrow. So I have written elvs. I'll just go and write elvs1.txt. So let's see if it is opening it for me or not, because this elvs1.txt file is in our book directory, and now we are currently in our desktop directory, right? So let's press enter and let's see if it is working or not. So no, so it is saying that it is not recognized as an internal or external command, right? So it is not recognizing it. Why? Let's just discuss that. So whenever you are giving a command to your computer through command prompt, so basically it searches for two locations. It will search for your current directory, so your current directory. So if you are in desktop currently, then it will search there, so if the elvs1 file is there or not, and after searching there, it will then go on into a path. So one other file is there. One other you can say type of function is there called path, where we add directories. So if I want my computer to look into those all locations also, we add those directories to the path. So if I want my computer to search on a particular location, so I will add those to paths. So my computer will search for any program that is elvs1.txt. So my computer will search that in the current directory also and in the path also. So basically whenever we will give a command to run a particular file, my computer will search that in the current directory, and then my computer will search that in the path if it is added there or not, and if it is added there, it will search it, and it will open that for me. So now we have tried to do it. We have tried to write elvs1.txt and it has given us error. So now what we will do is we will add the book directory, that is because elvs1.txt file is stored in the book directory, right? So what we will do is we will add that into our path, and let's see if it is working or not. So I will just clear my screen. So now the second step is to add the book directory into my path. So how will I do that? So I'll have to go to search. I'll have to write so your environment env I will writing, and after that you'll have to click on this one, edit environment variable for your account. Okay, and then you have to come down here in the system variables. You will see path here. So just a second, I have to close it. I'll have to close this one also. Okay, env environment variables. Click here, click on environment variables here, and you will see, so in the system variables you will see a path here. So just double click here. After double clicking, you will see some links that are added. So if you remember, while installing some applications, they ask that if you want to add this particular software into your path. So basically what they are asking is, they are asking that if your command prompt want to search for it, so we are adding, so they will add their link. So whatever they have, their link or executable link, they will add their executable link into their path, so that when we will write some certain command in the command prompt to open that particular file, it will search for that and it will open that for you. So that is basically what is happening there. So now what we will will do is we'll create a new path here, and we'll add our book directory. So basically this is my book directory, right? So I will be copying this, and what I'll do is I will click on new, and I will add my book directory here. So press enter, press OK, and press OK, and then finally press OK. So now we have added a book directory there. Let's now see that if elvs1.txt file will be opened or not for us, because earlier it was not opening because it was neither in the current directory and it was neither added in my path. Now it is added in our path. Our current directory is this, it is not the book directory. So let's write elvs1.txt, right, and press enter. So you will see now, because it is added in the path, it is opening that file for me. So I am presuming that you have understood what is the importance of path here, right? Now the thing is that the same thing happens here also. We have downloaded our MinGW environment, we have downloaded our compiler, but we haven't told our basically PC that please like add this particular directory into my path. So we have installed our MinGW, and it is installed in the C drive for me. So I'll just open it. So this is installed here, MinGW. I will go to bin file. So what you have to do is you have to click on your so we have to go to your bin directory wherever your MinGW is there, and after opening that you will find one bin folder. You will have to open that, and you have to copy that location. So basically we will be adding this particular file location into our path. So how will I do that? What I'll have to do is I'll have to go for environment variable. So I'll open my search bar and I will type env, that is environment variable, and I will go in this with the setting part. So just click here, one dialog box like this will open. Here you'll have to click on environment variables here in the down right corner. So just click on that. In the system variables, come to path and click on edit, or you can directly double click there, and you can add new. And now I am adding my MinGW bin file here. So basically I am adding this particular directory to my path, and I am clicking on OK, and then OK, and then finally OK. So now I have added my GCC compiler into my path. So let's see if it is working for us or not. So I want to see if my installation is complete, my GCC is installed, and I have successfully added to path. So if I want to check that if it is done or not, so after doing all these steps, you just go on and write GCC in your command prompt and press enter. So if error like this comes, fatal error, no input files, so error like this comes, that means that you have successfully installed and you have added that to the path. So now you are good to go. Already made a hello.c file. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll just open it for you. I'll click on edit. Yeah, so this is basically the C file. This is basically some C programming code that I have copied from the book. This is our first program actually, and I have just copied that and I have pasted that in a notepad. So this is the first program, and I have copied that, I have pasted that in a notepad, and while saving them, so while save as, I had written a name hello, like I will write hello1.c. so with the C extension I am saving it here in my desktop only. So you can see hello1.c is all there. So now my code is written in notepad and I have saved it with C extension. Now I want to run that. Basically I have written my code. Now I want to compile it, because you have your compiler working already, right? So I want to compile it. So how we are going to do that? So for that, so what I'll do is I will be moving to my desktop, because if I'll just write hello1.c, it won't run for me. So let's see. GCC, I will write GCC, I will write hello 1.c. So you are seeing that it is giving error, because we are not in the desktop directory now, and we have not added desktop into our path. So both of them are not true. That's why it is giving us error. So what I'll do is I will just jump to the desktop directory. How to do that? I will write cd and I will write desktop. Okay, now I have jumped to desktop directory. Now I will do the same thing. I will I will just press up arrow, and you can see. So basically I am calling the GCC compiler, and I am telling them to run this particular file. That is basically my C program that I have written on Notepad, and I have saved them by .c extension. So I have done that, and I will just press enter, and you will see that it will take some time, and then it will generate a file called a.exe. So you can see here, if it is not giving any error, that means we are good to go, and it has generated a file called a.exe here. So let's right click here and go to properties, and you can see the file name is a and the extension is executable. So basically this is your executable file. You have made your first software. This is your exe file. You have written some code and you have compiled it. After compiling, it has generated a binary code for you. That is your binary code what we have discussed in previous classes, and that binary code comes with your exe, that is executable file. That is basically your executable file. It has made an executable file out of your whatever sketch you have written. And now the next thing we are going to do here is we are going to run that particular executable file to see the output, right? So what I'll do is I will write a.exe, and I will press enter. So we have like compiled the code. Now we are going to run that particular executable file. We are going to run that particular software, and I will press enter and see this is what was written there. If I again open it, so I have written that please print coding is fun, let's learn, hello world, sabka badla lega tera Faisal, and coding is fun again. So all those things we have written, and it is basically this software, this a.exe software is printing that on into my machine. So that this is basically your first program that we have written. This is how you will make your first software. Now there is another thing. If I want to because I have written gcc hello world hello1.c, and it has generated a file that is a.exe file, executable file. But if I want to name it something else, I don't want to name it a, I want to name it cbd.axe. So how will we do that? So we will write gcc -o, whatever name you want to write it. So let's suppose that I want to write it cbcd, okay, something like that. So I want to write it this particular thing, and then you'll have to write which particular code you are going to run. So I will again write hello.c. So I am telling my compiler to make a particular executable file using this name by compiling this particular piece of code, and I will press enter. You will see that cbcd file will appear here. Okay, cbcd file has appeared here, and this is basically again your software, and it is an executable file. Now how will we run that? Will we just press cbcd file here, and we will press enter. Okay, I think I messed up the spelling, cbcd. Okay, and I'll press the enter, and you will see the code is run, and basically this particular output is shown into your machine. This is how a compilation is done for C programming. We first compile that. After compiling, it generates a executable file for us, and after getting the unexecutable file, we are going to run that particular executable file, and we are going to see the particular output in our machine. So this is how our basic compilation can be done. And we can write the code anywhere in Notepad or any other editing software, basically wherever you can write. But just that you have to save it by .c extension. Now this is complete. Now we'll be checking the second thing, that is online compilation. So one compiler that I use normally is REPL. So I will just open it for you. It is REPL.it. So let it be open first. Okay, so I will just do this simple things. Start coding. I will sign up. Okay, now my sign up is done, and you can see this is my basically my window, and I can go to new REPL here, click on that. I will select the language that I want to choose. So I want to choose here C programming, and I will keep it like that only. I will create REPL here. So this is basically how your online compiler will look like. It is same thing. You'll have files here, you will write the codes here, and you will see the output here. This is basically your command prompt, and I think they are using Linux. So you will see different type of commands, not same as Windows. This they are using Ubuntu here. Yeah. So let's now run this particular file. They have already written the code here for hello world. So I will just go and run it for you. So now let's see what is happening here. They have made the file name is main, so they have renamed it as main. So they have written -o main and main.c, and they have saved it into some location, and after that they are going into that particular location and running that file, main file, and they are printing the output hello world. So if I'll just write something else there, hello world, yeah, hello world, I am Electrovert Labs. Okay, now I am going to run that file, particular file. So again that will do the same thing, that will delete the previous output, and it will again run that, and it will make a executable file with the name main, and then it will go on and run the main file, and it will show the output here, I am Electrovert Labs. Okay, fine. So one more thing that we can do here is so see, we have seen that earlier, that we can rename it by some other name also. So let's just copy this particular thing, copy it. Okay, we can't copy it directly, we'll be right clicking on here, copy it, then paste it here. Okay, now it is saved as name main, and when we are clicking on run, so this particular thing is happening automatically. Then they have coded it such that they will run the main file for us. Now what I'll do is I will just change this executable file name. So I will just change it to main1, or yeah, main1. So I guess they have not coded it to run the main1 file. So what we will be seeing here is, we will be seeing that they will run the particular file for us, but they are not able to execute it. So you won't be seeing hello world at one time. So for seeing that, we'll have to run that just like we were doing earlier in command prompt. So I'll just run this particular file. So as you can see, it is not giving us any error. That means our execution is done, and the file name is main1. So now if I want to see the output again, so how the output of main1 is looking like, so I will do the same thing. I will just write ./main1 and press enter. So you will see hello world Electrovert, I am Electrovert Labs is printed here, right? So same thing. So just like we were doing earlier in command prompt, we are again doing the same thing, just that when I am running that through this run command, they are actually executing that particular file for us, and then they are commanding that executable file to be run, and then showing that to the screen. So those two steps are converged into one step, and they are directly showing us the output here. Now basically they are two steps, and they are making that into one for making things easier for you. And we are going to see the similar things in our VS Code editor also. So the first way of executing a C programming is just you have seen by writing program in any editor, and then running it through command prompt. Second is through this online compilation, and third will be through any editor. We'll be using any editor to write programs, and then running it there only in the terminal. Terminal is basically your command prompt in Windows. So for that, we'll just go on and we'll download VS Code editor. So I will write VS Code editor download. Okay, so you just Google it and you will get it here. You will have to go there and download it. After downloading, the same thing, you have to install it. For Windows, you can download a 64-bit. Let's use installation. So you just click here 64 bits, and it will download that editor for you. After downloading it, So you have to install it, and after installing it, so my download has already begun, so I will just cancel it and I will open that particular file again. So this is how your Visual Studio Code editor will look like. Now we have to do some configuration here. What are the different things? First let's try to understand what are different things here. So this is your file window. So if I will open some other so this is basically pages are there. So if I'll add another page, it will be here. If I want to close it, you can close it through here also. This is basically your workspace. So if I want to add a workspace and I want to work in that particular folder only, then you can just do like create a workspace, and you can do it that from here only. And the second is search. The third one is basically source control that you won't be using. Fourth one is debugging. And fifth one is extension that you will be using here. So this is extension, and you just click here in the extension, you search for C++. So just write C++ here and press enter. Yeah. So you can see this particular thing. So you have to click here, and you have to install it. I have already installed. That is why it is saying me to uninstall. And this particular Visual Studio Code extension comes from Microsoft. So it will be basically helping you with debugging, code browsing, and IntelliSense. So this is basically what we need, and just install it. After installing that, you have to install another you can say extension, that is Code Runner. So I will press Code Runner. Yeah. So you can see .run, this kind of this is how your Code Runner extension will look like. You have to go ahead again here and click on install. So you have to install both of those extensions, and after installing that, we'll be doing one more thing here. We'll be going to file, we'll be going to preferences, then settings, and then here just search for Code Run, CODERUN. Just search Code Run here and go down like in the last, and go up slowly, and we will seeing some things here like yeah. So the run command in Explorer context window, this is not Code Runner. So the message okay Code Runner. So all this should be ticked actually. So when you have installed the Code Runner, so all this should be ticked. And the thing that I'm looking for here is running the command in terminal. So I will again search down. It must have gone somewhere else. Yeah. So here this thing, Code Runner, save file before run. So you have to make sure that this is ticked. And after that, so execution message is correct. So execution message is correct. Another command prompt. Okay. There must be a Code Runner, run in terminal. So you have to make sure that this is ticked. So basically what we are trying to do here is we are trying to like use terminal is basically your command prompt to give you the output in the same window. Let's see how that is happening. So I will write some particular code. So just that particular code that we have seen earlier only, it is written here already. So this particular code is written. Now I want to run this particular code. So how will I do that? I'll just click in the run. So here you will see the run icon, and you can see here the terminal window, and it is showing you the output here. So again, what we have seen in the online compilation, so it will compile it for you, and after that it will again execute the output and show that in the same window. So again the same thing is happening here also. I will make it shorter. Okay, so same thing is happening here also. It is again making a temporary file.c with the name temporary file runner name, and it is showing you the output here only by running that particular piece of file, executable file, and you are seeing the output here. So you have to make sure that both of them, so in this setting you have to click on Code Runner, and then you have to select that please run code on my terminal, and you have to select that save before running. So both of them are actually required, and I always use them. So this is how basically your command prompt, so this is how basically your Visual Studio Code will work. So you'll have to write codes here, and you'll have to go to code runner, and code runner will run that for you and show you the output in the bottom here. So this will be very fast for you. You don't have to save it and then go to command prompt and then run it and then again execute it. So you will be doing everything from here only, and the time will be saved for you. So I'll just clear my screen because this is your command prompt only. So I can use all those commands that we were using earlier in the command prompt. So I have just cleared my screen there, as you can see. Okay, so this is a like tutorial. This was a tutorial for understanding how compilers, the basically MinGW environment setup is done. After that, we have discussed what is environment variables, what are the use of that. After that, we have wrote a code in the of C programming notepad and saved that, and then ran it through the command prompt. After that, we have seen how online compilation is done, and after that, finally, we have seen how to install Visual Code Studio Code and run any particular piece of code in that. Now, so if I want to let's suppose that I have just opened a new file, the name will come something like this, untitled 2 or untitled 1, something like this. If I want to write some particular code, let's suppose that this is my code. So when you will write it, you have to go here and you have to select the language. So you can see earlier it may be plain, so it may be like this earlier. So you'll have to go here and select the language. So click here in the plain text. So either you can directly select the language here, or when you are saving it, just save it by using .c extension. It will automatically detect that for you. So I do that proactively, and I select the language first because it will help me with all those colors. So I will write C, though this is how the coloring is done, and it will also give me some suggestions before writing anything. So select the language, and this coloring will be done, and you can now go ahead with your coding part. And then after writing the code, you can go ahead with the running part. So as I pressed the code runner here, it is again saved that file and then made executable file out of it, and then after that it has executed that particular file and run the code here, and you are able to see that in your screen. So I will clear the screen again. Okay, so this wraps up our discussion on all those basic setups. So see you in the next class.